And it goes to show you that pornography is an equal opportunity wrecker of homes. You know, it infiltrates, it grabs hold of guys, and it is a slow spiral downward. And your husband followed the typical progression. And if you're thinking, oh, you know, my husband would never do that, guess again. It is a progression. It starts off with maybe soft porn, gets harder, it gets more perverse porn because they have to get the same buzz, and pretty soon they're acting out in real life environments because they need that rush. And so, but this was stunning for you. So as he worked through treatment and going through some programs to be serious about repenting and turning away from this stuff, how did you deal with the resentment, the hurt? How did you deal with that?
Well, it's kind of hard because I was trying to think about this, the resentment, and the only thing that really comes to mind is that, you know, we're all sinners, and I've done so many things in my past that I'm ashamed of, and just, you know, to have compassion on him and realize, you know, that God forgives him just the same as he does me, no matter what kind of sin it is. But I think lately the biggest realization is that I have a choice of, you know, just like respecting your husband, I have a choice whether to resent my husband, whether to dwell on all that bad stuff, or whether I look at, you know, where he's come from and just praise God that he's turned from his sin.
Still, you had to learn to trust him again at some level. Trust has been broken. What did you require of him in this particular case, which might not be relevant for every situation, but I mean, what did you require of him? Did you just say, well, all's forgotten, we're good, no big deal? I mean, how did you deal with the trust thing?
Well, at first I set clear boundaries. So after he got out of jail, I picked him up and we had some moments. Some intense fellowship, as I like to call it. First of all, I asked him to move out. We separated for a little bit.
Now, you weren't talking about divorce.
No,
you
I
just
told him I do not want a divorce. I want to work through this,
yes.
But my heart is completely broken, and I just can't be with, you know, in this fake little bubble and in the same house together right now. I need some time and some space for healing.
Yes.
I asked him to get a sponsor.
Like a recovery sponsor to work through this.
Yeah.
Okay.
For him, so that he was getting help with someone and he wasn't just isolated and letting the devil sink his teeth into him. And then there was one big thing too, is that I really told him, you know, with how hurt I am, I don't feel anything at all sexual toward you right now. So don't even think about approaching me until I tell you it's okay. And then also there's a program called Prodigals. I did some investigation on this, and another lady here told me about a program called Prodigals, and I told him that I wanted him to seriously look into it. And so I think him going through all those motions and just doing everything I asked him to and honor me through that, you know, was him seeing him change and just like become this man. Like when you marry your husband, you see your husband, you envision this man and this spiritual leader and all these things in him. And as I saw him do these things, it's like all of a sudden there was that man that I thought that he was when we first got married, you know, as he's, you know, drawing close to God and getting through this recovery.